district attorney's been arrested on fraud charges.
This is the same DA who was the subject of a recent I-Team investigation. He's been accused of covering up the death of a police officer on Bald Head Island, ruling her death was a suicide, despite the fact that she was shot in the back of the head, and despite state and federal judges ruling it was a homicide. I-Team reporter Kelli O'Hara in Brunswick County to show us why that DA has been indicted.
A former district attorney here in Brunswick County has been indicted on a conspiracy charge. And one family says they are not surprised, and they've been accusing him of the cover-up of their daughter's murder.
I hope they put him in jail. And he should be there a long time for what he's done.
Lloyd Buff says he's been waiting for justice for too long. Justice for his daughter and against the former DA.
He did a lot of bad things as a DA.
Buff doesn't mince words when talking about Rex Gore, who ran the DA's office in Brunswick County for 2 decades and who's now been indicted on conspiracy charges. Gore is accused of illegally okaying $14,000 worth of travel expense reimbursement for an assistant DA who's also been indicted. Gore says he's disappointed by the charges and looks forward to clearing his name.
It didn't surprise me at all. You wait till they find out some real stuff on him about my daughter.
Buff says he's been trying to clear his daughter's good name for years, ever since the young police officer was found shot to death on Bald Head Island, right after calling into dispatch that she encountered men with guns.
I do have a gun here on Bald Head Island, okay? You want to put down the gun?
Davina Buff Jones died of a single gunshot to the back of the head. And despite that dispatch tape, DA Rex Gore eventually ruled her death a suicide. Gore also refused to reopen the case, despite 3 judges' panels ruling it a murder and awarding her family compensation. Lloyd Buff thinks it was a cover-up to protect the island's low crime image. Gore told us he stood by his decision even after his successor ordered a new probe into Davina's death.
The family's angry, that's why.
Sure, they've been angry for years.
What do you think about the investigation being reopened, and does it bother you that it's reopened? No. Do you think it's a negative reflection on your job you did in office?
I don't think it's a negative reflection on what my staff and I did.
But Lloyd Buff says it is, and hopes Gore's arrest will eventually lead to more questions and justice for Davina.
I don't know how anybody can sleep at night and be that corrupt.
For the I-Team in Brunswick County, I'm Kelli O'Hara for ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
And Kelli tells us Rex Gore was booked and bonded out of jail yesterday. He vows to clear his name now. Meanwhile, the new DA's new investigation into the death of Davina Buff Jones does continue.